Welcome back to the LA Dance Diaries. I am Abby.
I'm Rachel.
And hi. We had a really cool episode the last time. We talked about goal setting. We hope that you guys set your goals. We'll have received your DMs and we'll be checking in with you. And today, we're going to dive into something that is pretty vulnerable. I think it's going to be really inspiring for a lot of people to hear. So I'm really glad that you've chosen to share. I can't wait to hear more about it as much as I've been able to watch. So we're going to talk about Rachel's process and her injury and her healing and just all the things. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to dive in with some questions.
Yeah, we're just going to chat about it, I guess.
Tell us what happened.
Yeah.
Tell us what's been going on with you the last,
Yeah,
months.
absolutely. We actually had to back up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people were really confused because I was like, I'm injured. And then I was like still working out and dancing and stuff. And everyone was like, I don't understand this. And then suddenly I was in a brace and on crutches. And everyone was like, wait, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
So we're just going to back up a little bit, talk about what happened and how I got to there and then how I got to here. So that's the trajectory. So we had to go back to 2023. I had just come back from living abroad for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
I was working on a cruise ship job.
You did the cruise, yeah.
Did the cruise ship job. I moved back to LA. One of my first major auditions back was for a job with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
It was in March. It was actually the day before I took my main LA headshots, my dancer headshots. It was literally the day before.
I remember all of this. Mm-hmm.
All of this, yeah. So all connected. I literally was in a callback for an audition that I ended up booking the job. But in the callback, I did a pike jump and I landed the jump. So both legs go forward if you're not a dancer and you're jumping really high. And then I landed, my knee totally collapsed inward and I fell. And dancers don't fall to the ground in auditions.
But that's how bad it was.
It was bad.
Crippling.
I fell and we hadn't even gotten to the small groups yet. We were dancing in three big groups and shit. And they sent everyone out of the room. They put me in an ice pack and everything in the back and they were like, hey, we love you. We've seen you dance. We don't need to see any more of your dancing. And I was like,
twisted your knee and then booked it.
And then booked the job.
Whilst
so I
sat there on ice.
Yeah, I sat there on ice, literally this in the back and watched everyone do the dance call. And then they cut people. I did not get cut. And then I got to sing and act.
God.
And then I booked the job. So that was pretty crazy. And then I left that experience. I couldn't walk. But in that context, I wasn't really going to try anything. I was just kind of scared. And I was what the fuck? Let me just ice and let me assess the situation privately away from everyone. And at the time, I was really scared. I could not straighten my knee for a month. And I had to go do all those headshots the next day with everything was bent on one side. So I was like, hey, left knee, you're going to stay bent right here. And my knee would just keep collapsing because I was wearing heels for that shoot and stuff. It was very, very bad. So essentially, I knew it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
But all that mattered to me was getting ready to do the job.
I remember this.
And I had 2 months.
We're dancers.
I had
it's just
2 months.
We
and I was like, wow, that's
breezed
perfect. That never happens.
Yeah.
You also, as a dancer, usually you book and then you're there. I had 2 months to rehab. So I went to a physical therapist. I worked on rehabbing the knee. I never got an MRI because my doctor was just a shit show and health insurance sucks. So
it's fine.
I just kind of let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But fast forward to last year, 2024, I still wasn't really doing big jumps, anything too crazy. It took a while to feel comfortable, turning, everything. So fast forward to August of this past year, I was teaching children in Utah, so I wasn't even home.
God.
And I decided that was a really good time to test out my side leap, which I'm demonstrating. If you're not watching the video, you're jumping from one leg onto one, but your externally rotated.
Right.
So it's not just traveling laterally. You're also like twerking your body and have to
like,
land turned out.
Yeah.
So right away, the knee collapsed like the exact same way. And I was like, shit. And I was around kids. And I was just starting to feel like myself again. Like I was just starting to feel like I was dancing.
And then
full
bam.
out. And yeah, I waited a couple days and then I got an MRI.
Yeah.
While I was still in Utah, because I was there for a few more days.
Yeah.
And so I found out that not only had I previously torn my ACL.
Oh my God.
Dancing, doing the Disney audition, I tore my meniscus in 2 different places.
So you didn't know about the ACL when you...
No, I had no idea.
And then you torn your meniscus
Yeah.
too. So all of these things were just
so
there
were
in your body as you continued and continued.
Yeah, and then my the cartilage in my knee like developed like this pothole basically. So like that's when things start to get grady for people is when they lose cartilage. Yeah, so it was like a little dramatic and they were like, you're definitely going to need surgery. And I was not at home. I was not around my boyfriend. I was not around my friends.
God. You were just away.
I was just like away.
This
and I was like, oh.
life-changing information.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So I had to get surgery and I got surgery on September 9th.
Yeah.
And they fixed all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was the because I know that
this is a lot of talking about the lead up. I know.
No.
Yeah.
Like that. The backstory is important. I think. Especially for me as well, like for me and other dancers and even just, people that aren't dancers, considering surgery is, I think, is just such a scary choice, especially when it affects your lifestyle and the way you make money. How, if you don't mind sharing, how was that for your mental health? Like as far as like making the decision and going into this going, I need the surgery, I'm going to get it. And knowing like kind of the process that would happen after that. Like how was that for you making that decision?
Well, I think that's why, like, I don't think I would have been ready to find that information out. Like, if someone checked out that part of it and was like, you need surgery a year ago, like, I don't think I would have felt, ready for that at all. So it was hard because, like, part of it is kind of like, there was no choice not to get surgery for me. Like, because
had to do it.
It was like, you cannot. Obviously, I tried. I tried to perform at the level that I, am comfortable dancing at. And I think, like, had I made a decision, I just would have had to totally shift my dancer path. I think dancing would have been possible, but not at all at the level that I want to work at. Do. And then be not even stylistically, because like I want to still do leaps, turns, jazz, like all these things, You
want to be able to do everything that your body has been trained to do, that you worked so hard to do.
That I worked so hard my whole fucking life,
get
So it was kind of like there wasn't really a choice.
Yeah.
It was more brain, just about being okay with like this is
what it is.
Where you are and this is you and this is your life and you're gonna have to go through this. I did not know how hard it was going to be. And you saw me before. We were still filming before.
We were still filming. It was very much like, okay, I'm going to get this surgery and it's going to be a couple months and I'm going to be back and like it is what it is. And you were nervous about a couple of months. Mm-hmm. I remember you being like, this is scary. It's going to be a few months.
Yeah. But it was way harder than I thought it was going to be even because like when you like think about, I know you broke your foot.
I broke my foot.
So that was probably like a one time and then they put you right in the boot.
Yeah. I mean, I broke it. It was in a boot and it was also COVID. So I just feel like that pressure and feeling like you're being stagnant or you're having to stop something wasn't really there.
Right, because that's what's so hard. It's like I was able to do everything. Yeah.
Well, I choreographed a music video whilst in a boot and on crutches. You were in that music video during COVID too. Obviously we took protocol and everything. But it just felt different. Like I don't want to compare it to anyone else's experience because it happened if I was going to break something, which I would never do again, but it felt like it was the best possible time because the world was shut down. So I felt like, okay, I can just heal. Like, and even that was still frustrating for me. Like even just not being able to do things, relying on other people whilst being on crutches, not being able to just take a walk, go to the gym. Like it was insane for me. So to think about doing that when the world is moving and you're in the height of your career and you're here.
And because like I have these crazy injuries that they needed to fucking surgically fix, but like I was able to do like I was doing so much like with that fucking injury, and so to willingly take your body and be like, let's break it to make it better for good. Hopefully, you know, like that's the goal. That's like why I do it. Yeah. That's why I did it. But like, damn, you know.
Yeah. So tell us like how's the process been? Like you said, it's been super hard.
It was totally hard in the beginning. Now is like a whole different phase of rehab because like I can bend my knee now. Woo!
It's amazing to see you just being like,
I can like step and walk and everything. But I think like that initial part of the rehab, like you mentioned, when you're on crutches and you know, I have stairs to my own apartment. So I was like, you know, just trying to get outside and stuff for weeks. I came back to work as a yoga instructor after like 2.5 weeks. So I taught on crutches. The only reason I could do that is because a line literally demonstrated every single class.
What a gem.
He was so cute. Gem. He was so cute. He literally did the whole entire yoga class for me. It was awesome.
That is so sweet.
Yeah, things like that where you really had to rely on people and like people making me food, because if I made food, I couldn't bring it to the table. Like, you know, just those kinds of things. But I think the most interesting and difficult part is, you know, most dancers, most athletes of any capacity, like if you're good, you're probably going to experience injury.
At some point.
Yeah, but this one is so long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And what's hard about this is like, because of the nature of the incident, you can't really treat it as a like one size fits all. Like I have doctors who will be like, maybe this will take 9 months, maybe this will take a year, like. So I think you're just kind of like arbitrarily working towards goals. Yeah. But those normal like indicators of timelines that I would love to latch on to, I can't really latch on to them. I just have to like let it be.
Let it be.
You know?
Is there, you know, if anyone's listening to this right now and is facing a similar situation, might be injured, might have things that they know that they need to take time off for, whether that be dance or just life. Yeah. Going through this and like you just said, you know, the time period it's just sometimes it just goes and goes. Do you have like what has helped you stay sane during this time whilst not being able to do all the things that you want to do?
Yeah, I was so fortunate. Like there are people like in our age range, like peers of mine who had surgeries and I had no idea. Yeah. Like people reached out to me. So that was really cool.
Other people, other dancers reached out to you.
And choreographers even. Like I told a couple people about what I was going through because, fun fact, Disney called me in the day I did it the second time and I had to like turn down a Disney job. So I had to tell the choreographer. And she was all cool, you know, like everyone was just really nice about it. That helped a lot. My agent and I had a great conversation.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
She had a knee surgery. So it's like, there's so many people that you can bond with that I think we don't always talk about it until something happens. And so I was really grateful for that.
But
I was really grateful
I guess
for that.
Sometimes it takes it happening to you to be able to share it and then realizing, wait, there's so many people that this has happened to too, but they would never just bring it up.
Exactly. Because like there's a reason I don't really post much on social media right now because like I don't really want to talk about it much. Like I just kind of want to let it go and like get it done. Yeah. You know, I'm working hard over here behind the scenes.
Yeah. And I feel like this also, when I had my injury or just any injuries, there is such a stigma about looking, like about sharing with the world that you are currently not able to do the things that you want. Because you don't want to put that in people's heads of like, oh, I'm injured. But it's like, that's insane. You know what I mean? Like we're dancers. We're literally athletes.
Yeah.
We're going to get injured and like we should have the time and space to be able to heal and get right back into it. That's what other people do.
Yeah. When it happened, it was literally during the Olympics too. So there were so many like inspiring stories about, you know, some of the gymnasts had quite a few, you know, experiences with injury and like they have 4 years to wait until their next opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think like just timing wise was really nice. And I had a book recommended to me, you know, me and self-help books.
Yeah.
So there was one about like injured athletes. It's called Rebound. If
Okay.
you are any
Ooh.
injured athlete on any stage of a recovery, injury, whatever, it was full of like really good mental like resources and habits and like just things you can do to like adjust and cope during a period of like maybe loss of identity or, you know, just like when you're waiting to be back on your game, you know? So it was nice. I had a book given to me and, you know, I just had a lot of people be there for me in ways that I really needed.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful, you know, to have people around me.
Yeah. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Kind of a personal, selfish
God.
question, but
Tell me.
I'm someone that finds it so hard to accept help. Help. When I was injured, I think that was it wasn't even about the injury. It was about me not being able to do, like you said, being on crutches, having to ask my friends to drive me places, having friends come to doctor's appointments in case there was stairs. Like, even with the meals, me realizing that I really couldn't cook a meal by myself and like would have to like get takeout or like pre-packaged meals.
Like,
there was so much and it was so horrendous for me and also eye-opening to realize how many people wanted to help. Did you have like how was that for you being like, you know, you're such an independent person, you always have you're on your shit, you know, you take care of everything. How was it for you to rely on your partner and your friends? Like, was that a learning curve for you?
Yeah, the hardest part was not driving. I think you remember.
I remember.
But I didn't know how long I was not going to be able to drive. I didn't drive for like 2 months.
That's such a big part of just being free and independent is being able to take your car wherever you need. Yeah.
That was the hardest thing. And I think like when you're put in a situation where you are required to have help, you kind of just had to deal with it. So I kind of just had to deal with it. And again, like I think I am very fortunate. I don't think I would have felt like I could reach out to friends like the way I relied on a line. Absolutely. And of course, oh my gosh, I have great friends. You're wonderful. You know, like fuck yeah. Like I have a great group of girls around me that like I'm sure, and gays. Girls and gays, that's my friends. But yeah, I have people who could have supported me. I think it is a little easier when it's your partner and you're like, you're
especially
already
when you live together.
You live together.
Like,
yeah. So I was lucky.
Yeah.
I am lucky.
That's amazing. I mean, it's just it's been amazing to like watch your process and watch you handle it with so much grace.
Thank you.
As always. I mean, I'm sure there's been little mini mental breakdowns at home.
Of course.
You know, we don't shy away from
It's just not easy because like it's just a continuous thing. So it's never gonna be like your feelings are always gonna go up and down about everything in life. You know. So of course with this, there are days where I'm like, I'm crushing it. Yeah. And there are days where I'm like, why am I still limping? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
In and out.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest like, not necessarily lesson, but like what would you have taken the most from this whole experience? Like what do you think you will carry with you as you go into the next phase and you're going to be dancing and healthy and doing all the things?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just important to like be a little bit of a bitch in terms of like doctor's appointments and just kind of like just I don't know, maybe I'm now a little bit paranoid, but I feel like it would have been helpful to have information sooner rather than later. And I think like had I pushed and advocated for myself more, I might have had a different year last year.
Wow.
Maybe last year I would have been rehabbing.
That's huge.
You know?
If you would have pushed and been like, something's wrong. I want the scan. I want the MRI. Give it to me.
No, that's literally the biggest thing.
Wow.
So for a long time, I was kind of kicking myself. I was like,
wow,
like, because I don't know what would have happened.
But what a cool thing to take into all areas of life after this.
All areas of life, but also to share with others. And like, I know we're like talking. Yeah, just all areas of your life, advocating for yourself, and like when something is wrong, you know best.
Yeah.
And like I should have known. Like I was just spending so much time fighting to crawl back towards something that I used to have because I used to just be healthy.
Yeah.
And my body was fundamentally unable to do the things that I wanted to do for a reason. And so whether it's, a less serious injury and you just need to really spend a couple extra months of still doing PT.
Yeah.
Like just being a little more patient with it.
Okay.
I think is so important, and I'm just going to be like so careful with people and people's bodies.
Yeah.
I think like even when I teach a class and I'm teaching yoga sculpt, we keep it low impact to start, and you know your body best.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Yeah.
So, I'm spending a lot of time like loving and stretching and doing things.
I love that. The self-care, I think, after this, as you return, is going to be next level. I'm going to try and like follow your lead and be inspired by you.
I just don't give a fuck about anything else anymore. Like, I could give less of a fuck about going out.
Yeah.
Like, I have dreamed my whole life of being a dancer.
Yeah.
I don't care about the noise. Like, I'm just ready to get back on stage.
Ready to go.
Like, I don't care. Like,
I can't wait to see it.
You could never invite me to another, like, dancer's party, and I'd be okay. Like, I would be okay. I literally just wanted to
over
do
it. You're
the
done.
job.
You're like, I'm just ready to be back at work. I want to use my body. And I can't wait. You're going to do huge things this year, and I can't wait to see it. So
I can't wait. So hoping to be back by June, but,
the body will do what it's going to do, and you'll be back when it's ready, and then everything will be amazing.
And until then, y'all, you better watch the fuck out, because she's coming back.
She's coming back. She's back. Thank you for sharing.
Talking
oh my God, thanks
for
sharing. I think that a lot of people will find this really me included. I'm just like, taking it all in, and thanks for sharing and being so open with everything.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna cry, but no, it was. I mean.
The wine.
We're
helped,
here now.
It's
good.
We're on a really good
and
phase.
I'm happy it happened. I really am.
Wow.
Like I'm glad I am learning and growing, and I think like I can only become a better person and then dancer.
Yeah.
When I'm back.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. What a great episode. Okay.
Thanks.
So we will be back next week. We'll see you guys on the next episode. And
a little less serious.
Happy
See you
Tuesday.
Soon. Happy Tuesday.
Bye.
Woo. Bye.